Welcome to English Stories with Dr. K.
The Biggest Misconception About College Students by Gail O. Mellow. You might think the typical college student lives in a state of bliss, spending each day moving among classes, parties, and extracurricular activities. But the reality is that an increasingly small population of undergraduates enjoys that kind of life. Of the country's nearly 18 million undergraduates, more than 40% go to community college, and of those, only 62% can afford to go to college full-time. By contrast, a mere 0.4% of students in the United States attend one of the Ivies. The typical student is not the one burnishing a fancy resume with numerous unpaid internships. It's just the opposite. Over half of all undergraduates live at home to make their degrees more affordable, and a shocking 40% of students work at least 30 hours a week. About 25% work full-time and go to school full-time. The typical college student is also not fresh out of high school. A quarter of undergraduates are older than 25, and about the same number are single parents. These students work extremely hard to make ends meet and simultaneously get the education they need to be more stable. A 2-year degree can earn students nearly 20% more annually than just a high school diploma. And yet, these students are often the most shortchanged. As open access institutions, community colleges educate the majority of our country's low-income, first-generation students. But public funding for community colleges is significantly less than for four-year colleges, sometimes because of explicit state policies. This means the amount that community colleges can spend on each student to pay for faculty, support services, tutoring, and facilities is far less as well. Tuition for low-income students can be covered by federal financial aid programs, but these students often have significant other costs, including housing, transportation, food, and child care, that regularly pose obstacles to their education. A recent Urban Institute study found that from 2011 to 2015, 1 in 5 students attending a 2-year college lived in a food insecure household. A study from the Wisconsin Hope Lab found that in 2016, 14% of community college students had been homeless at some point. At LaGuardia Community College in New York, where I'm president, 77% of students live in households making less than $25,000 per year. With financial pressures like these, studying full-time is not an option. It is not uncommon for a student to take between 3 and 6 years to graduate from a 2-year associate degree program. Even that can be a miraculous feat. At LaGuardia, many of our students start the days by taking their child to daycare on the bus. Then they take the subway to college, then ride a different bus to their job, another bus to pick up their child, and a final bus to go home. Once home, they still need to cook dinner, help the child with homework, tuck the child in, tidy up, and complete their own college coursework. Many of these students have jobs that are part-time and pay the minimum wage. These schedules can vary wildly, making the fragile balance of each day complex. Being stretched so thin makes each day an ordeal. It's no wonder that too many students drop out before graduation. Community colleges need increased funding, and students need access to more flexible federal and state financial aid, enhanced paid internships, and college work-study programs. Improved access to public supports like food stamps and reduced public transportation fares would also make a world of difference. It's not just that policy must change. Last year, more than $41 billion was given in charity to higher education, but about a quarter of that went to just 20 institutions. Community colleges, with almost half of all undergraduate students, received just a small fraction of this philanthropy. It is imperative that individuals, corporations, and foundations spread their wealth and diversify where they donate their dollars. Correcting society's perception of who attends college in the United States is the first step toward helping these hardworking and ambitious students, eager to make a better life for themselves and their families. It will take sustained commitment by our elected officials, business leaders, and philanthropists to increase support for routinely underfunded community colleges. It's time to put public and private money where more and more students are educated and remove the real but surmountable obstacles that stand between them and a degree.
Please subscribe, like, and share.